with Ottawa 67's graduate, Austen Keating. And, well, Austen, first of all, congrats on a fantastic 5-year career.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's no other place I'd want to be than in Ottawa. Coming in as a 15, 16-year-old kid who doesn't really know the city too well, and being able to see the people opening up their homes in the city kind of embrace my family and I is something that I didn't take for granted. I built so many relationships outside of the rink, outside of the coaches, and with the fans. The places that we go for food, everything like that. So, Ottawa's definitely a home that that I'll always come back to. It's a special place in my heart for sure.
It looks like you're back in Guelph at this point in time. What have you been doing during the pandemic to keep yourself busy?
Yeah. So the first week, when the season was just suspended, Shaun from Canadian Strength was sending us workouts. I was able to do that to kind of, take up some of the time just because it was a tough couple of weeks. And then when the season officially canceled, I took a week off just to kind of look back on everything, my 5 years, everything like that, just to rest, relax my body a little bit. And now this week I'm getting back to working out, using Shaun Young's programs and everything like that. So, it's definitely tough times right now. Things, I know, as I've said it before, things are way bigger than hockey, and this is definitely one of them. And, I just hope that everyone's staying home and staying safe.
Well, it's nice to see that at least part of your razor or part of your face is getting a workout as well. Mustache looks fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much. Merrick Rippon, he's been wanting me to do this for probably about 2 years now. And, whenever I do the Movember, it's normally the handle boards that go all the way down. And, this time I thought I'd switch it up. I got the sideburns going with the mustache, and Joseph Graff, he's a big mustache guy too. So he wanted me to jump on that train as well.
You talk about the workouts. What are you able to do? Is there a whole lot that you can do around your house?
Yeah. So I don't know, about like 4 or 5 years ago, or I guess longer than that, probably like 10 years ago, my dad built like a mini gym in the basement. Doesn't have much, but it's got like a bike, treadmill, barbells, dumbbells, stuff like that, kettlebells. So I'm able to do quite a bit, and then I'm able to do jumps and stuff like that outside, just kind of jumping stairs and everything. And then for conditioning, I'm doing just kind of run around the neighborhood. I have a pretty big backyard, so I'm able to run sprints there and everything like that. And so it's not too bad. It obviously doesn't have all the privileges that a gym has for sure. But I'm definitely working myself.
The OHL Draft just went by this past weekend. I want to go back 5, 6 years ago now, whatever the case may be. Back to your draft day. What were your thoughts when you were selected 16th overall by Ottawa?
Yeah, I was really excited. The night before when I talked to my agent, he pretty much told me between 15 and 25, and Guelph had that 15th pick, and I already knew I wasn't going to Guelph because they wanted size, and I definitely thought that Ottawa was a really strong chance of picking me. They were my first choice. They brought me down that year, and I was able to kind of see the city, meet some of the players. I met Barron, who I've now come really close to, and everything like that. And I think that's when it really started, where I kind of just fell in love with the city. I'm coming down for rookie camp, seeing the media, seeing fans come out. That was my first kind of taste of everything. And like I said before, I fell in love with the city. My family loves coming down to be able to see everyone. Like me, we've all built relationships in Ottawa, and we didn't take it for granted at all. I hope I can get back there before next year starts, just to kind of say my my proper goodbyes and everything like that, because I feel like I didn't get a proper goodbye.
Did you have any apprehension, or did your family have any apprehension about coming to Ottawa? Because it isn't close to Guelph, it's still a long ways out.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little bit. I think my dad was really excited and pumped, as Billy, but my mom definitely was a little bit. I'm the baby. I have 3 older brothers, and I'm a bit of a mama's boy, and I don't think she wanted me to go too far from home. But once the year got going, and she was able to meet my first billets at the time, Sarah and Manfred. They became very close. They're part of my family for the rest of my life, and then she got better with the feeling of it. Travis Barron kind of took me under his wing, along with guys like Salataro, Addison, Sam Stadnika especially. And when she was able to meet them and realize how much of an impact and positivity it is to be in Ottawa and play for the Ottawa 67s, like myself, she fell in love with the city.
As you move through your OHL career, you obviously become a more of a leader. But in your rookie year, you mentioned the guys who took you under their wing. How important is that role model? The coaches and billets, they're fantastic, but everything comes from within. How important is that leadership role within a hockey team from the players?
Oh, it's huge. The one thing that kind of the coaches always said is they can get you to about an 8 out of 10, but the players gotta take you the extra two steps to get a 10 out of 10, and those are the two biggest steps. When you're a young guy and you're coming in, you're moving away from home, friends and family, you're not used to anything like that, and kind of a tougher schedule, everything like that. It's important to have that off ice chemistry. That if something is going wrong back at home, or if you're not happy about your playing time or you're not happy about how you're playing, that you're able to talk to one of the older guys that have gone through the same situation. Because in junior hockey, a lot of when you start younger, you might not play as much, and then you kind of work your way up the lineup and everything like that. So a lot of the older guys have gone through the same situation that the younger guys have, and kind of show them some experience, can kind of talk them through it, give them little tips here and there, what they can do. And then, you build relationships that just start growing onto the ice, and, you want to win for each other. You go into the gym and you want to work out, get better for each other. And I think that's why we were so successful this year, last year. Our off ice bondage was just unbelievable.
What's your biggest memory from your first year in the OHL?
My first year in the OHL, honestly, my biggest memory was, I think it was right after Christmas. My grandfather passed away on Christmas Day, and then I was able to have a couple days at home to spend with my family and kind of stay together and everything like that. And that first game back, we played in Kingston on, I think, about the 27th or 28th, and my parents drove me up, and I didn't have any points or anything in that game, but there was an empty net, and I was out there, and I kind of just shot it, and it was going completely wide, and it took a bounce and went directly into the net, like the weirdest bounce I've ever seen. And it was kind of, my grandpa loved watching hockey. He was a big Habs fan, and he loved coming to watch my game. So I think that's just my biggest memory from my first year, just because it was like he was there watching me.
Do you remember your first OHL goal?
I do. Windsor Spitfires. Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was a special memory for sure too. I think it was a bit of a lucky bounce. I don't know who gave it to me. I think it either could have. I think it was Fanjoy at the time actually, but I was able to kind of just whack it and it hit off the goalie's back and in. And I didn't forget. That's for sure. It's one of my typical goals that I've scored throughout my whole career. And then at the end of that game, I was able to bury the OT winner, assisted by Arthur T. for sure.
In that season, you represented Canada at the U17s. What was it like wearing the maple leaf on your chest?
Oh, it's an unbelievable experience. We were coming in. I wouldn't say we were probably we weren't ranked the highest Team Canada team at that point. I think Team Red they were pretty solid team. They had a couple first overall picks and everything like that. And we had a lot of OHL guys. OHL coach was Scotty Walker. It was a lot like Ottawa. Like, we got so close within those 2 weeks. Some of the guys I still talk to, like, you got guys like Bouchard, Robbie Thomas, Gabe Velarde, Ryan McLeod, Owen Tippett. We were a pretty loaded squad as well. But I think we ended up going 1-2 in the round robin, and then kind of we were the third seed and fought our way up, beat Finland, beat Sweden, and then beat Russia in the finals. And it was like Ottawa. We were just so close. Everything we did as a team, and there's no one being left out and everything like that. And I've never really seen a group come together that fast in that short amount of period of time.
After your NHL draft eligible season, you had nearly a point a game. Did you have any expectations that you would get picked in the NHL draft?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I thought I had a pretty good year. I actually went to the draft, and I had to sit through the whole draft and everything like that, and it was definitely tough not getting picked. But I think it was good for my character, just kind of resiliency and to kind of come back and not run away from the situation. I think my third year I kind of fell back a bit and didn't play my best. There's a lot of changes that year with the new coaching staff, new staff all around and new schedule, everything like that. And then I think my fourth and fifth year were so strong because I didn't get picked. I didn't get complacent, with where I was, and I wanted to get better. And I think a big thing when it comes back to that draft is, my maturity. I was pretty immature at that point. I had numerous conversations with Andre after his first year, and that was the big thing that needed to be fixed. And I think my fourth and fifth year, I came back kind of, instead of an older boy, than just a man, and kind of more mature, more wanted to work out more, wanted to kind of took everything more seriously.
Is that, along with your on ice productivity, the biggest jump that you made throughout your OHL career? Obviously, skating improved a ton over the course of your OHL career as well.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. My skating was huge. A lot of that goes back to Dawn Braid. She works out of Toronto, and she's been unbelievable for me the last, I'm gonna say, 4 years. She's kind of helped my skating, a little bit, and then got even stronger 2 summers ago, and then keeps just getting better and better. And I'm gonna keep going to her again this year. I think that's just something that you can, for me especially, I can always improve. The kind of biggest thing for me right now is to get my first 3 steps quicker. That's kind of thing that I'm gonna continue to work on. This year it's gonna be the one main thing that I want to get better. It's just kind of my first 3 steps, just make it quicker, make it faster, get my legs stronger.
What was it like going to Toronto Maple Leafs development camp after you didn't get drafted and that opportunity to attend with the Leafs?
Yeah, I was excited. I think my family was really excited too, just because a lot of us are a Maple Leaf household. Besides my one brother, he's a Sens fan. But when you're able to go to your childhood team that you grew up watching and still watch to this day, it's pretty cool when you're putting on the gear, the helmet, the gloves, the jersey, and you're kind of going out on the practice facility, seeing all the media, everything like that. It's a surreal moment, and it was very special for me. I think I learned a lot from the older guys there. Just kind of when you're a younger guy, you're able to watch some of the older guys that they're pro. Some of the AHL guys that are signed, everything like that. And you can kind of just watch them on the ice, in the gym, and just kind of take little things that they do from that, and then bring it back to Ottawa. And then you continue to do that, and then the younger guys watch you do it, and it's just kind of, it's a snowball effect. So, I think that was really big for my, like I said before, for my maturity. That was definitely huge going to Leafs camp.
You mentioned Andre Tourigny a little bit earlier. What kind of effect did he have on your career, and how big of an adjustment was it when both he and James Boyd came to the Ottawa 67s?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a huge adjustment at first. When you have a new coaching staff that's kind of completely different than the other one, especially when you're doing video. We had our workouts were very tough with Shaun Young coming in that year. We had Derek Miller and his group come in that year. There's a lot of adjustments. We had to get. I think the biggest adjustment that all the boys had was waking up at 6:30 in the morning and getting to the rink for 7. I think that was definitely, one of the things we had to, kind of figure out to go to bed earlier, stuff like that. But when you get a new coach, it's always going to be different. It's like you're starting over with a new team, right? And you kind of have to feel each other out for a little bit. And then, me and coach's relationship, I think it's pretty off the charts. We're able to kind of joke around with each other at times, and then, when it's time to be serious, we can be serious. I think for me, he changed my life completely on the ice and off the ice. He kind of made me realize how to be more of a defensive two-way player, instead of just worrying about points. When me, Marco, and Felly got together last year, we were so good offensively because we were so committed defensively that we were never really in our zone. When you see a guy like Felleber or Marco block shots, it just gets you really excited. It gets all the boys up, everything like that. And I think he really did change my life with my maturity. He made me kind of think things through a little bit more. I think I got a little bit smarter with everything, and I can't thank him enough.
You mentioned Derek Miller as well as Shaun Young. What have them and their staffs been able to do for not only you but the entire Ottawa 67s group?
Yeah, they've been great. I'll start with Younger first. When you're able to get a guy like him and his crew.
This is Bella. Say hi to Bella.
Bella?
Bella, yeah.
I'm a big dog person. No, but when you're able to get a guy like Younger and Derek Froats and his crew in there, and kind of It makes you take working out a lot more seriously. You kind of see guys go in there that are already pros, and when they're working out hard and they're getting success on the ice, you're obviously going to follow them, and so it really shows that their programs are working. At times it was something that definitely tough. There's going to be days where you don't want to work out. There's going to be days where you might not want to practice and everything like that. But I think with us working out with younger, it made us the best conditioning team in the league. Where we were able to come back in third period when we were down by 3 or 4 goals just because we were in that great of conditioning. And then with Millsy, when you're able to work on your hands, work on your shot, it's huge on ice success. You can do your one-on-ones, two-on-ones, flow drills, systems in your normal practice, but when you're able to go out on a one-on-one with one of the development coaches and stuff like that, and just kind of work on certain things that you specifically need to work on, then you're just only going to get better each and every day. And I think both of those guys, they've helped our whole team, become a better team as well.
What did last year's playoff run mean to you, not only personally, but just going on that entire 14-game winning streak, that entire stretch?
Yeah, it was, it was something special. That whole year to me was, very special. That roster that we had, besides some of the acquisitions like Mikey, Maxi, and Chico, we were together, since I was 16, 17 years old, like the key guys. And when you're able to go on a run like that, with those guys, it's just something that you never forget. At that time before the playoff run, the Ottawa 67 started getting back to where it was with its recognition, and the kind of talk around the city. And then, once we were able to, win a couple of those series, and you're driving around town and you're seeing, people wearing the 67's Cowboys hat, and, people coming up to you and saying good luck and everything like that. It's just something that's pretty surreal when you're a junior team. I know teams like Kitchener and London and teams like that, they already have that, but to be able to bring the spirit of the Ottawa 67's hockey back and be a part of it is just something I'll never forget.
Is there one moment or moments that stand out to you the most?
From that year, just the playoff run?
The playoff run.
Let's think here. I think the biggest was Oshawa Game 4 when Felly, he decided to do his thing and, tie the game up with 30 seconds left. And then, I don't know, it was 30 seconds into overtime, that goal. And being able to celebrate with the guys, and then I think the biggest thing, though, was when Felly came into the room and we were all waiting for him, and we all kind of jumped up and we were throwing water and everything like that. And, that just shows, how close our group was. We didn't care who scored the big goal. We didn't care, who made the big play. We were happy for whoever did it just because we wanted to win as a team. And, it's something that, it went way too fast. I wish I could kind of do that playoff run all over again, but it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Can you take us through that triple overtime game in Sudbury and how exhausting it was, and the celebration, and just what was going on in the intermissions during the room?
Yeah, well, I think everyone kind of expected the whole series to be like that game. You have the two best goalies probably in the league going at it. I think we were both 1-2 with goals against during the whole season. So, you kind of expected the whole series to be a defensive game. We were lucky to kind of get going at home and everything like that. And then Game 4, Luukkonen and Mikey just stood on their heads pretty much the whole game. It was like big save after big save. They're kind of out-dueling each other, and it was really cool to watch. And then, after the first overtime, you're kind of tired. You're like, okay, like someone's going to end it here. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to end this overtime. And then, both the goalies kept doing their thing and making big saves. And then second overtime, I remember an intermission. Younger was we had Swiss Chalet for after the game, but, it was, 11:15 at night. So we were eating the Swiss Chalet in intermission. Guys were stuffing chicken bones down their throats and everything like that just because we were so hungry. We've been going since 7 o'clock or whatever time the game started. And then, we were able to get a lucky power play in triple overtime, and Johnny on spot, Felly decided to finish it off once again. So, that celebration afterwards, it was exhaustion, but it was just so much excitement. A lot of the guys in that room had never made it past the first round, and now we were going on to the third round with home ice advantage. And, we were all really excited, really pumped to get back to the city, and kind of see how the whole city's, doing. I know at that time, I'm pretty sure we were dealing with the floodings and everything like that, and we were able to help out and everything. So, it was, like I said before, something I won't forget. It was a lot of fun. I wish it didn't go by that fast, but I'll definitely take it.
Did you use last year's disappointment in the final as a team towards your process this year to get to where you were first in the OHL?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All the returning guys, we talked about it at the start of the year, especially the leaders of the team, and we kind of said, we got to use that as, kind of our weapon against a lot of the other teams. We got to play a little angry, a little pissed off, stuff like that. You can kind of see like the younger guys kind of, they got it. They kind of they followed along and everything like that, and the young guys did a great job adjusting to the league, and they knew what was at stake. They knew that our team lost last year in the finals, and they wanted to be a big part of why we were going to win this year. And it obviously sucks that we didn't get a chance to kind of see how everything played out. But I think right before the season ended, we were just hitting our stride with playing some of the best hockey. We weren't allowing many shots, we weren't allowing many goals. We were just getting healthy, and it's definitely tough to think about everything that took place. But I wouldn't take back this year either. It was a blast. I loved every single one of those guys in that room, and I grew close with a lot of the younger guys as well. I kind of took a couple of the guys under my wing and stuff like that, and so did Hoffy and Graffa and Rippy. All the kind of older guys that that came back after last year. So the team's in good hands for next year. I think they're going to be another really strong team. They're going to play fast. They're going to be gritty as per usual, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
It's rare for an OHL player to spend 5 years with a team, let alone two, spending their entire career, and three, 90% of their career with one team. You, Noel Hoffenmeyer, and for the most part, Hudson Wilson all went through this journey together. What was it like to experience it with them?
Yeah, it was a blast. Me and Hoffy, we got pretty close at the U17 development camp. We were on the same team, and we got pretty close to that. And then me and Huddy, as you know, and as most people know, we're pretty much like Dumb and Dumber. We're super close. I still stay in contact with both those guys now every day, and being able to go through 4.5 years or 4.25 years with both those guys is something special. Most guys don't really get an opportunity to do that, and when you're able to kind of have sweat, blood, and tears go through with the same guys that you've been battling with for 4 years. It's a bittersweet sweet taste to think that we didn't get a chance to finish what we started, 4 or 5 years ago. And but those guys are brothers for life. I love those guys. We're gonna stay in contact. I'm so happy that Hoffy signed. I think it's well deserved. He's a great player, and he's gonna do well. He's just gonna keep pushing up and up like he's been doing. And wherever Huddy ends up signing or ends up playing, he's gonna do a great job as well.
300 or over 300 points, 300 games played, only player in 67's history to do that. What does it mean to be the first player in a storied franchise to be able to do something?
Yeah, I think when it first happened, I didn't really think about it too much, just because I was so focused on getting playoff ready and worrying about the next practice, the next game, kind of just staying in the process and just worrying about getting better each and every day. Now that everything's kind of all over and I can sit back and think about it, it's a pretty cool accomplishment for sure. Being the only player in 67's history, like you said, with this storied franchise that has had, so many great players, go through the system, Hall of Famers, Stanley Cup champions, Memorial Cup champions, everything like that, and being the only player, it's pretty cool. I think a lot of that goes back to the coaching staff that I've had over the last 5 years, especially the medical staff that's kind of kept me healthy. So I've had the opportunity to play over 300 games, and along with the skills and development guys to make sure I'm getting better, each and every day. I'm able to continue to get better and be able to produce as much as I did over my 5 years. So I wouldn't be able to do it without them, and they played a huge part in this.
Now, bear with me for a second, Austin. I want to go through some of the line mates that you've had over your OHL career. Jeremiah Addison, Dante Salaturo in your rookie year for the most part. Shemilevsky, Archer Newland, Travis Barron, Matt Foggett in your second year. Mitch Holscher, Cody Clark in your third year for the most part. Sasha Shemilevsky, Graham Clark last year, and then maybe the best line in the OHL this year with Rossi and Joe Garefa. Why have you been able to have success with whoever you play with and seem to make them better players at the same time?
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot of it is in my play. When I came in from minor midget, more of like a point guy, shooter, kind of had the puck a lot, and then I was able to transform my game into like kind of more of a two-way player. In the corners working hard. So I was able in my first year, I was able to kind of get the puck to Sal and add it really, a lot as much as I could and kind of go to the net and just kind of when you're a 16-year-old, you want to watch, the best players on your team to see what they do and kind of take little points and stuff from them. So I was able to, have really good success with them and being able to watch them, kind of do their thing. I was able to bring it into my second year. And then playing with Sash and Archer. Archer is probably one of the most skilled players I've ever played with, hands down, and Sash is by far the hardest working player I've played with. Playing with those two, the thing was me and Sash, it didn't matter, who was in the corners. It was always one of us. We didn't care. Same with Archer. We didn't care who scored. We didn't care who was in the corners. We didn't care who got an assist. It was just a matter that we, first off, didn't get scored on. And second off, we just wanted to get better each and every day. I think that was key. And then my third year with Holschi and Cody, we might have been may have been the smallest line in the league, but obviously how Clarky plays. He plays gritty, which I love. Holschi can play gritty, but he's also super smart. We all kind of just like read off each other. It was like before, we really didn't care who scored, who got the points. It was just about working hard and trying to give the team the best chance to win. And then last year with Sash and Grammer, I think we got together in the playoffs, right before the playoffs. And, playing with Sash in the playoffs is like it's a man amongst boys. He was so dialed in and, he was so ready to put that trophy over his head. He was he was our captain, even though we didn't have letters. He was so detailed with everything he did. You could watch him, even being an older guy, being older than Sash, you could watch him and kind of learn from him and take tips from him. He was obviously pro ready and Grammer, who was still pretty young at the time. He did a great job. He's obviously, a pure shooter. He's probably got probably the best shot in the league right now. And, I think we did really well in the playoffs. And then this year with Joe and Marco, Marco, his play says it all. He works hard, blocks shots, does whatever he can to win. And then Joey's he's got the best hands I've ever seen. He's able to slow down the plays, find each other, find his teammates, everything like that. And I think that's why we work so well together. I'd find Joe would find Marco would find one of us. Like before, it really didn't matter.
With all those guys that we just mentioned, who's the best player that you've played with? Right on the spot, Austin.
Oh, that's a tough one. Can I go with two?
No, just one. That was the question. Just one.
I think I would have to go with all around right now. Marco was by far the best player I've ever played with. There's obviously different things that I was in debate with him and Sash. Those are kind of my two guys. Obviously I played with Marco recently, so I was able to see him. But I've seen Marco get so much better in the last 2 years. With everything. How he works in the corners. How he blocks shots. How he gives it his all every shift, and he doesn't get frustrated. You never see him get frustrated with guys or anything like that. So, and then his skill is off the charts. So, yeah, Marco.
Where'd the nickname Coco come from?
Yeah, so we got a little kind of joke in the team that Marco is my kid I at the start of last year, I drove him around quite a bit, and Nikita's also my son as well. But last year, Marco had a crazy uncle named Felly, Ty Felliber, and Felly would always go up to Marco and try to like grab his cheeks and call him Cocoa Puff. So it just kind of stuck with Marco. We call him Coco, Cocoa Puff. We have a lot of nicknames for him. So I think I'm pretty sure that's where it started. I believe.
Marco Rossi and Jack Quinn back to back on the NHL Central Scouting list, 6 and 7. What makes Jack Quinn so good?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Jack's one of those guys that gets better. Each time he plays, each year he works on things that just make him kind of keep getting better and better. He doesn't ever get satisfied with where he's at. Quinner's always had he's always had the skill, he's had the speed, and now you can see kind of the work ethic. He's one of the hardest working players on the ice now. He works hard in the defensive zone. He blocks shots when we really need him to. He makes big hits. He fights. He's one of those guys that can kind of do it all. Along with him scoring, he's probably one of the best pure goal scorers, in the league by far. And Quinner, like I said before, Quinner's one of those guys who just gets better. He's never satisfied, and whatever team gets him is going to be very lucky. They're going to be very happy with the selection, and I think he's going to make that team a lot better.
What are you going to miss the most about being an Ottawa 67?
I'm going to say I'm going to miss the boys the most. With our schedule coming in at 7:30 in the morning each morning, some days, as much as you hated it, I look back on it now and I wish, I could still be coming in at 7:30 in the morning to see, all the grumpy faces, and then you have some of the guys that are all excited and everything like that, just to, be able to joke around with the guys, being able to go on the ice and kind of work hard and giving it everything we got. It's just something I'm going to miss the most. I've had so many great relationships with guys on our team. It sucks. It kind of hits me at times at night if I'm trying to get to sleep or something like that, where I'll just start thinking about the guys and where we'd be right now if we weren't in this situation. And it's definitely tough to think about things like that. So I try to stay away from it as much as I can. But I'm going to miss the boys a lot.
Who do you think is going to be or could be a breakout candidate for the 67s next year?
Let's think here. I would have to go with, I'd say Cam Polnai. I think, he was kind of finding his own right at the end of the season there. He's playing with Joey and Grammer. Obviously Grammer's going to have a great year along with Quinner and wherever hole she ends up. But, I think Toll's going to have a lot more responsibility next year. And, I think he's going to do a great job. He's going to be leaned on a lot with a lot of playing minutes, I think. He's going to be a leader with that team. So, I think he has the ability as well. He's got the skill set. He's got the work ethic to have a big breakout year and to kind of turn some heads. I wish him all the best. I think he's going to do a great job.
And what's coming up next for Austen Keating? What's the plan moving forward?
Yeah, we're kind of just waiting on it right now to kind of see where everything ends up. It's just kind of been a quiet couple of weeks just because no one really knows what all the teams are doing, everything like that. So if there's no contract, nothing like that, then I'm just gonna be going to school. I think that with our package that we have and the skill that's been coming out of the university hockey has grown so much over the last 5 years. They have guys going to Europe, guys signing AHL deals right out of school. I might need those extra 3-4 years to kind of get bigger, get stronger, kind of get me over the hump, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Well, Austen, thanks a lot for doing this. It's been a pleasure getting to know you over the last 5 years.
Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate it.